All right, Larry Krueger here at Levi Stadium for the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show, a little 49er Thursday recap before the NFC Championship game coming up on Sunday. And of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out, and they do run out. Get the brisket chili. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. And this video also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Check the link in the description. Use the promo code KRUG, K-R-U-E-G, and they will match you up to your first $100. All right, let's talk about some of the things today. Kyle Shanahan spoke today, and he basically told us that, Deebo Samuel is going to be returning to practice. Deebo's still battling shoulder pain. They're trying to ramp him up and get him ready. He was out there today wearing the blue jersey, which means nobody better touch Deebo. But the Niners need Deebo. I mean, let's be completely honest about this. And we could sit there and soft pedal it and say, well, they don't really need him. And this, no, they need him. They need him. The 49ers with Deebo Samuel are 53 and 23. They average 27 points a game. Without him, they're 8 and 9. And they average 3 points less, 24 points a game. So does Deebo, are you saying Deebo only matters 3 points? No, but look at that record, 8 and 9, under 500, or 30 games over 500. Safe to say the Niners want Deebo out there. What's the key in this game? It's going to be pressuring Jared Goff. I don't think there's any question about it. I asked Steve Wilkes about it. Goff under pressure this year has completed about 53% of his passes, 6 touchdowns, 9 picks. Goff in a clean pocket is close to 75% completion percentage, 27 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. You got to pressure Jared Goff if you want to win this game. Yes, the Lions have a great offensive line, but they also probably are not going to have Jonah Jackson. Frank Ragnow and Jonah Jackson have yet to practice this week. I would imagine Ragnow is going to go. Jonah Jackson most likely is not going to go, and Coyote Awosika is most likely going to go in his place. And to me, that's the key matchup. If you look at Awosika, he's got a 29.2 Pro Football Focus pass blocking grade. He's got a 9.9 grade against pressure. And that's the worst. Both those numbers are the worst of any of the Lions offensive linemen. So just to put this in perspective, Jonah Jackson's played 182 snaps this year. He's allowed 19 pressures in 182 snaps. Awosika has played 86 snaps, about 100 fewer snaps, and yet he's given up 13 pressures, only 6 fewer than Jackson in over 100 more snaps. So Awosika gives up a 15.1 pressure rate. Jackson allows a 10.4 pressure rate. Having Jackson out and having Awosika in there means that Javon Hargrave and Eric Armstead need to feast inside. If the Niners are going to win this game, they're going to have to get pressure in the face of Jared Goff. Goff is not a great athlete as far as agility. He's a 6'5" guy who's narrow. He's not the kind of guy who wants to run all day. You got to blitz him in the A gaps. You got to win in the A gaps. You got to get pressure inside and force him to move laterally. He does not move well laterally. He doesn't like to move well. He doesn't like to move laterally. So if you can give him pressure in his face, to me, that's the key to this whole game. You pressure Goff in his face, and the Niners are going to win this game. If they can somehow, between Ragnow and their guards, stand up and avoid any kind of pressure up the gut, Detroit's got a great chance to win this game. Couple other things that I want to see in this game, and I mentioned this to Steve Wilkes today. Jair Brown is just a whole lot better against the run than Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan's a corner, and yeah, he might be in the right place at the right time, but if you can't stop Aaron Jones, you sure as hell can't stop David Montgomery. And so I want to see Jair Brown. Brown will strike you in the run game. Brown's a hitter. Brown's more like a linebacker in the box. I asked Steve, are you going back to Brown, or are you going to go with Ryan? He basically talked for a while without saying anything, which tells me he doesn't want to tell us. But I think they're going back to Brown. I'd go back to Brown. I wouldn't think twice about it. I want to see Javon Kinlaw get more snaps than Sebastian Joseph Day. Kinlaw got a quarterback hit this week. I trust him more. He's not as explosive as Sebastian Joseph Day, but man, I think Kinlaw's coming on. I'd play Kinlaw more snaps than Sebastian Joseph Day. And then on the offensive line, I'm going with John Feliciano over Spencer Burford. And there's nothing against Burford, but Feliciano is a veteran. He's been through the wars. If he's healthy, I'm going with him. Couple things on Brock Purdy that I think are kind of interesting. One, Brock Purdy, the number one quarterback against the blitz, the number one quarterback in the league this year against pressure. But there was Dan Orlovsky and the ESPN people were kind of trying to spin a different narrative after Ryan Clark's idiocy saying that Brock Purdy doesn't make his teammates better. I mean, what? What's Ryan Clark watching? I mean, seriously, does that guy have any idea what he's watching at all? Brock Purdy absolutely makes his teammates better. He's the number one quarterback on throws outside the numbers, and this has been going on all year. I quoted this stat maybe 6-7 weeks ago. It still holds true. Brock Purdy, not Mahomes, not Josh Allen, not Lamar, not Stafford. Brock freaking Purdy, number one quarterback rating on throws outside the numbers. That's where you really show if you've got arm strength and zip on the ball. So you can talk dink and dunk all you want. You can talk about, he's got pedestrian arm strength and he's got narrow shoulders and blah, 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 blah. When scouts want to know if a guy's got enough arm to play in the NFL, it's can he throw the deep out from the far hash and put it on a line in the receiver's hands with accuracy and timing and touch. If you can make that throw, you can play in this league. Brock Purdy can make that throw, and he's been making that throw better than any other quarterback in the league this year. He can play in this league. So, all the craziness about, Brock and what he can do and can't do. First of all, what's your standard? The guy was the seventh round pick, and he's been now to 2 straight NFC Championship games. He's 1 win away from going to the Super Bowl. Where are all the other guys, Matt Corral and all the other guys that were drafted ahead of him that year? They're not here. So, suddenly we move the goalpost from, is this guy a good quarterback, to, is he as good as Josh Allen, Mahomes, Lamar in his MVP campaign? Last year, is he as good as Hurts? And, ultimately it matters because you got to beat these guys if you want to win the Super Bowl. But, I think you to a man, you go into that locker room, Niner players will take Brock Purdy. All right, one thing to feel good about. Niners didn't get home last week against Green Bay. Green Bay was number 2 in the NFL in pass block win rate. This Lions team on Sunday, 14th in pass block win rate. Detroit's got a ferocious offensive line. Decker on the left tackle, Penei Sewell on the right tackle, maybe the best right tackle in a long, long time. Ragnow, if he's healthy, is a freaking nature at center. But he's not healthy. They're without their left guard. And this is not the greatest pass blocking line. This is a pretty mediocre pass blocking line. It's a dominant run blocking line. So get the lead, make these guys come from behind, and I think you're going to be able to tee off on Goff and get some sacks. As I mentioned before, both Ragnow and Jonah Jackson, according to reports out of Detroit, have yet to even practice this week at all. Couple things to announce. AP MVP finalists have been announced. Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, and Allen from Buffalo. Josh Allen. Those are the finalists. It's probably going to go to Lamar. He's probably going to get the AP MVP award. The AP Coach of the Year award, Dan Campbell, the finalist. Dan Campbell, John Harbaugh, D'Amico Ryans, Kevin Stefanski, Kyle Shanahan. It's going to D'Amico Ryans, but you can make a great argument that Shanahan, when you think about all the things his team's been through this year, that Shanahan probably deserves it. But it's going to go to D'Amico. They won 3 games last year, and they came 1 step away from the AFC title game this year. The Offensive Player of the Year, the AP Offensive Player of the Year finalist, Tyreek Hill, Lamar Jackson, CeeDee Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, Dak Prescott. I think it's probably going to McCaffrey or Tyreek. That would be my guess there. All these will get announced, I believe, during the NFL Honors Thursday night of Super Bowl week. Joe Montana and Barry Sanders, by the way, are the honorary captains for Sunday's game. I don't know if people know this, but Barry Sanders lives in San Francisco, or at least did for years and years and years. And it'll be great to see Joe. And what can we say? The story of the day is that Deebo's back at practice, wearing the blue non-contact jersey. I did ask Colton McKivitz in the locker room today, about 10 minutes ago. I said, Colton, who was the star at the House of Prime Rib offensive line dinner? And he's like, well, I hate to brag, but it was me. And then last week I did a video asking Colton what his pregame ritual was, and then he said eat a plate of buttered pasta noodles and 2 steaks. And then everybody's crushing me because I never got, what's the cut? What's the cut of steak? And I guessed porterhouse, but I asked him about it today, and he said country ribeye. Country ribeye. So there you go. If you're keeping track of what Colton McKivitz is eating, it's country ribeye. And I asked him also about Aiden Hutchinson. I think there's a very good chance the Niners slide the line towards Hutchinson all day and ask Trent to go one-on-one with Pascal or Kaminsky or anybody off the other side. You may see Hutchinson against Trent a couple snaps, but I think he's going against McKivitz. McKivitz knows he's got his work cut out for him. The kid's strong. He's got a great motor. He plays incredibly hard. And I would imagine Colton's going to get some help this week. Also, Colton and Brendel and the whole right side of that offensive line, they were the guys who caved in Green Bay on that final McCaffrey touchdown. And we talked about that in the locker room today as well. Colton said it was good that the right side of the offensive line, which is getting much maligned. I said, man, you're noticing all that stuff? He's like, I hear everything. He said it was good to see, the right side of that offensive line win in the biggest play there of the division round game against Green Bay. All right, that does it here at Levi's. Beautiful day, a little cold in the shade, a little beautiful in the sunshine. Temperatures expected in the high 60s, low 70s on Sunday. Perfect January Northern California weather. Should be a fast track. I'm expecting Purdy to bounce back. And like you, I'm expecting the 49ers to win this game and to go to Vegas for the Super Bowl. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Underdog Fantasy. Thanks to all you guys for supporting the Krug Show. Now with 35,000 subs and counting on YouTube.